A leopard's life here unfolds against a beautiful and unforgiving landscape. Deep in the South African bush, a veteran filmmaker follows a male leopard coming of age in a pitiless and violent world. He will be tried, he will be tested, and he will struggle day by day, hour by hour, to live up to his name, Chololo, one who stands alone. As the South African sunset fades, Kim Wallater navigates Mala Mala game reserves, thickets, and ravines. For Kim, it's another night on the job. He's here to chronicle a male leopard's fight for survival, a constant battle waged on many fronts against many enemies.
What draws me to these animals is their absolute power, grace, and their real beauties. And the fact that they inhabit a world that's very, very difficult to penetrate. But if you can work your way into it as an observer, you have a chance to see amazing things.
Darkness is the canvas on which the leopard illustrates his prowess. To watch a leopard stalk is to understand truly what that word is meant to convey. To its prey, a leopard is everywhere and nowhere, silent and smooth as running water. But just as the leopard stalks his prey, he's dogged by a less grand, though no less efficient predator. One that rarely leaves his side. An unwanted partner, the hyena, follows in the leopard's wake, always looking to steal what the leopard worked so hard to gain. Hyena and leopard. Theirs is a rivalry as old as the bush itself. And the rules of engagement have remained the same for millennia. Sooner or later, the leopard must come to terms with the hyena. And the hyena must come to terms with the leopard. Out here, you know your enemy, or you die. Mala Mala Game Reserve lies in northeastern South Africa. 35,000 acres perfectly suited to leopards. Etched by gullies and ravines, the landscape is blanketed in thick bush, punctuated by patches of open grassland. This rich array of cover, forage, and water supports a huge variety of animals.
The bush is one big neighborhood. Each inhabitant knows everyone else, the same as we know our own neighbors, and they recognize one another individually, no matter where they meet.
Wallater understands these animals and this landscape well. Like his father and grandfather before him, he was once a park ranger, until he took up the camera. Wallater has made several award-winning films, including one on a female leopard in Mala Mala.
I'll never forget the time I spent in the wild with Beauty. A connection of some kind developed between me and the cat that seemed to let me into her world in a way I'd really never expected. And again I was able to see amazing things, like the hunting skills she had taught her cubs.
5 years later, Wallater is back, this time to complete his Big Cat Chronicle by devoting even more time to the intimate details of a male leopard's life.
For this story to work, I had to find the right cat, one with gumption to see the job through, and if he succeeded, it meant the film would succeed.
Kim finds a perfect candidate, a leopard he calls Chololo. Years ago, a vet implanted a tracking device in the cat to monitor his recovery from a bad wound, so Kim was able to find and follow him. 4 years old and 150 pounds, Chololo is small for a male leopard. He'll have to be a scrapper to survive out here. Chololo's first task is to claim a territory for himself. His timing is excellent. The old male leopard, who controlled this 14,000-acre region, has died. This territory is up for grabs, and right away, Chololo starts scent marking it as his own. Tonight's foray may take him across 10 miles of terrain. In the dead of night, Chololo announces his presence, a brazen challenge to other males with designs on this turf. Soon enough, he detects the presence of another leopard. It's an older, larger male, and Chololo must confront him. There have been reports of leopards fighting to the death over territory. Whatever the outcome, it always begins as a war of nerves. Chololo closes the distance, and the intruder rises. but not to do battle. Instead, he retreats into the bush. Chololo has taken the measure of his opponent and found him wanting. Other confrontations await, some with enemies more implacable, enemies less inclined to run.
Beating back the territorial advances of an aggressive neighbor is one thing. Learning to live with hyenas is another. It can be a hard lesson for a young leopard to learn.
Tonight, school will be in session. It's time to hunt. And when Chololo sets off, a hyena will follow.
Hyenas know what efficient killing machines leopards are. They also know if they can get to the kill before the cat trees it, they can usually take over.
Chololo has killed well, but judged badly. The dead kudu is too heavy to haul off, and a powerful adversary lurks nearby. At the sight of a hyena, leopards often turn tail. Not Chololo. They struggle. They feed. They struggle some more. Both animals are on edge. The commotion could attract unwanted attention. And when another hyena arrives, the scales are tipped against Chololo. Tonight's lesson is all about hyenas, and it's a hard lesson indeed. Even a minor bite from one of these brutes could prove fatal to Chololo. The hyenas are out in force, but they are not alone. Besides hyenas, Chololo fears one other creature. The hyenas soon realize the lioness is alone, a situation they know exactly how to handle. The lioness is soon put to flight. Even a lion can't fend off a pack of hyenas. Chololo was wise to play it safe.
I really felt for Chololo that night. He gave it his best shot and lost out. But that's how a leopard learns. As for the hyenas, the kudu carcass was gone within the hour.
His dignity intact, but his stomach still empty, Chololo moves on, eventually catching a whiff of something that might make a meal. A rock python. It matters little that the python isn't venomous. Leopards instinctively know to be wary of snakes. Hunger and curiosity drive Chololo to press his luck. Until reason prevails. Nearby, a female is chuffling, an anxious sound that tells Chololo she knows he's in the neighborhood.
She was putting up a real yowl, a mix between a meow and a growl, which sets your neck hairs on end. At first, all I could hear was a couple of cats in the bush. Then the female came down. She had spotted Chololo and was trying desperately hard to distract him. She left her perch, trying to lead him away. And for the life of me, I couldn't figure out what was worrying her.
She watches as Chololo uncovers her secret. A dead cub, no doubt hers.
There have been reports of female leopards eating their dead cubs, and adult males may kill cubs they didn't sire. But this cub had been dead for some time, and it looked as if the female had been feeding on it. We don't know what killed this cub, but it definitely wasn't Chololo.
But for Kim, there's even a bigger surprise.
Then it dawned on me, this was beauty. The female I'd filmed years before. She'd been a good mother back then, and probably still was. But obviously things don't always work out.
For every leopard cub that doesn't survive the first 6 months of life in Mala Mala, it seems there are several hyena cubs that do. These youngsters must scramble to stay alive too. But hyena families den together, providing the added safety of numbers. At least 3 groups, called clans, live in Chololo's territory. Maybe 35 hyenas in total. Like close-knit extended families, hyena clans hunt, feed, and socialize together. Their young stick close to the den for the first year. But if there is one lesson all hyena cubs learn in this part of Mala Mala, it is to keep their eyes on Chololo. Chololo's learning fast, too. It's clear now, if he's to keep what he catches, he'll have to move fast enough to stay ahead of the competition. This time, he judged. Day breaks over the Sand River. Even in the dry season, it attracts all manner of animals, including Cape buffalo.
The water is a big draw for animals, providing plenty of opportunity for predators. Rivers can also serve as natural boundaries for leopards. The Sand River wraps halfway around Chololo's territory, so he patrols here regularly.
Chololo's appearance seems to unsettle the buffalo. But he's not the only hunter around. The equation can be simple. In Mala Mala, where you find water, you often find lions. They know the routine well. Sooner or later, everyone stops by for a drink. It's only a matter of waiting for the right moment to strike. Amid the huge buffalo bodies, a newborn greets the world. During calving season, buffalo and antelope are especially watchful. Their calves are extremely vulnerable. The lions have the herd squarely in their sights. There's still daylight left, though, and the big cats like to work in the dark. But the buffalo aren't sticking around for that. Fear ripples through the herd, and they flee, hooves making muddy thunder. Soon, real thunder engulfs Mala Mala. Amid the gusts and lightning strikes, Chololo has made a kill. But still, he's edgy. Chololo seizes the moment, dragging his kill higher. The lioness and animal spirits.
This year the rains have been really bad. Plenty of storms and massive floods, the most we've seen in living memory, and twice as much as the highest ever recorded.
Only days ago, the Sand River was a trickle. Now, it's a raging torrent, only fit to watch at a safe distance. The bold pachyderm tests the current. As Kim watches, the elephant gets a devastating lesson in water power.
It surprised me to see this elephant bull in serious trouble. These guys usually have the wit to stay out of bad situations, but the current was way too much for him.
If he's lucky, he'll regain his footing somewhere downstream. As soon as the sky clears and the flood ebbs, hunters regain their rhythms. After the deluge, Chololo emerges with a new attitude. He seems to know now how to play the game.
Chololo seemed to move to the next level of maturity. He came through the flood with a better hunting technique and more confidence. You could tell he knew he had established himself as the dominant male in the area.
At dawn, Mala Mala is a raucous symphony of animal calls. But this morning, the decibel level seems to be rising fast. A female leopard and her cub take notice of the uproar. And as more voices join the chorus, the cub heads for cover. The reason for the ruckus and the cub's flight? Chololo. If a male leopard meets a cub he didn't sire, he could harm the little one. The female decides she needs better cover. She monitors the situation constantly, taking care to stay hidden from view. Chololo may not notice every animal he passes, but every animal seems to notice him. When the danger has passed, mother and cub find each other by call and response, and gradually their anxiety subsides. It's early summer, fawning season for the impala. Mothers leave the relative safety of the herd to be alone at the big moment. It's a risky step, since predators know nature's calendar all too well. Though on their feet in minutes, newborn impala, have few defenses, but they do have a single invisible advantage. Nature sends them into the world scentless. It will take this youngster days to develop the fragrance so welcome to hunters. Chololo can sense opportunity, and he's not alone. Every predator out here knows there's young game afoot. But who will find it first?
The lack of scent is a great thing for the fawns. Combined with their ability to lie still in tall grass, it keeps many of them alive. But the predators seldom give up.
Searching for mother's milk, a fawn breaks the spell. Their reunion draws the attention of a hyena. Hyenas have the stamina to chase prey until it drops, provided they can keep their target in sight. Something has galvanized the herd, and the predators sense it. The hyena tracks the herd. But Chololo takes a different angle. It's a lone female. Perhaps there's a fawn to be found. Sensing Chololo's on to something, the hyena heads his way. But Chololo's nose keeps him one step ahead, leading him on, until he runs into beauty with a kill. To protect her meal, Beauty goes aloft. The hyena lingers, unwilling to concede defeat. That is, until Chololo has had enough of his presence. After Beauty has cashed her kill, Chololo follows her into the bush. She may be ready to mate.
What's surprising about Chololo is that he'll go far out of his way to track down a female and then ignore her, even when she's thrashing around right in front of him. This can go on for days. Maybe he can sense when the time's not right to mate yet.
In fact, neither leopard is quite ready to expend the energy needed for mating. Chololo sets off on his solitary path, leaving Beauty to lull. All too soon, he reacquires his standard accompaniment. After a while, tired of the hyena's hectoring, he settles down for a rest. Across Africa, bushfires shape the ecology. In Malamala, blazes like these help maintain the balance between grassland and shrub that produces this perfect leopard habitat.
The amazing thing about this scene is the absolute lack of concern among the animals for the fire. I'd always been told that if you want to keep animals away, you make a fire. And that's true. If there's a big roaring blaze headed for the animals, they'll go into a frenzy. But if a fire's just burning along, it becomes part of the landscape, and no one much cares about it.
A series of moist summers has left the bush very dense. Dead grass has built up, premium tinder, primed to burn fiercely. Conflagrations like this can last for weeks, flaring when daytime winds fan the embers and fading at night.
For leopards like Chololo, a fire is an inconvenience. It burns away his scent marks, so he has to patrol that much harder. On the other hand, with the cover burned away and the dry leaflets are gone, he can find and hunt down his prey more easily.
As he calmly patrols this hellish landscape, Chololo has heat of a different sort in mind. He's about to achieve another stripe of adulthood. Mating time has come.
Once they get going, they'll be at it for 4, 5, even 6 days. Chololo keeps moving through his territory, and the female follows him, even when they leave her territory.
The entire region is their honeymoon suite. They'll mate, wander, mate again, oblivious to the changing scene. Beauty and Chololo dally near an impala herd, but they're not interested in hunting. Their mating cries unnerve the antelope. When the herd can contain the tension no more, impala scatter every which way. some run so close to Beauty and Chololo, they trigger the predatory instinct. By chance, the two latch onto the same luckless impala.
I'd never seen this sort of collaboration before. Normally he'd chase her off, but maybe he's more tolerant because they're mating.
But as quickly as Chololo and Beauty collaborated, they're competing again. In a show of strength, he overpowers his consort. The next day, as their mating marathon nears its end, Chololo begins to pull away from Beauty. He's drawn back into the isolated existence he usually leads. Even ensuring the survival of the species doesn't exempt him from the work required to preserve his place as the main leopard in this corner of Mala Mala. Though singed and smoky, Chololo's world remains vibrant, and he sets about reminding its inhabitants who's boss. It seems a neighboring male was all set to annex a portion of Chololo's turf. But that plan was hatched with Chololo away. Now, he's back.
At the point where two leopards' territories meet, there's a sort of fixed line, and then there are these overlapping zones that both cats wander in and out of. They probe and test constantly, trying to see how far they can push things, until the other guy says, back off.
One thing is clear. This is Chololo's territory, and none of it will be ceded without a fight. With a full moon rising over Mala Mala, life goes on in all its murderous splendor. The killing takes place at a killing pace, with Chololo in the thick of it. Now, when he brings down an impala, and hyenas make off with the kill, he doesn't give up. Instead, he takes advantage of the herd's confusion and attacks again, immediately. This is a master at work, sleek, confident, bringing all his skills to bear. He's absorbed the lessons of experience and put them to good use If good fortune continues to wash over Chololo, he'll travel his range for years, perfecting his strategy and tactics, and siring many cubs.
I came here to get inside Chololo's world and to document that mysterious place. It took us 18 months, often under extreme conditions, to develop the bond that allowed us to get the intimate details of his life on film. And the fact that he succeeded meant we succeeded.
Perhaps some of Chololo's offspring will follow in his footsteps, for better and for worse. But as long as Chololo can strut the strut and growl the growl, this stretch of Mala Mala is his. The price for this rich life is constant dedication and unyielding vigilance. For Chololo, the only way to walk is proudly and alone.